not working. I don't know what's going on, but I don't have time to try to reset it and try to figure it out. I don't know what's going on, but we'll see if my data works. Um, I hope I could do this. I don't know. I um, I was talking about how I felt like I sounded angry in my last video, um, and it bothers me. It bothers me if people think that I'm an angry and mean person. I don't want people to think that about me, and I feel like I've come across that way to a lot of people, like even in my own family, and you know, there's been some arguing and some people that have been offended, and it's it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate, and I'm not a mean person. I've never been a mean person. People don't know me to be a mean person. I was like the nicest person ever in high school. Like that was like I was like the nice girl in high school. I was friends with everybody. I had nothing but nice things to say about people, and I was just cool with everybody. Like everybody's my friend. Like all kinds of people. I genuinely love all kinds of people. I find beauty in every person. It's fun to me to look at a person and to get to know them, to find out what their genius is. Um, that's what I'm curious about, because I truly believe God has endowed us all with these geniuses, and I with genius abilities, no matter who you are. And I think it's really neat when you, as another human being, can see where someone is brilliant, or you could see where, wow, if they just keep going down that road, they could probably do amazing things with their skill. And I love doing that with my own children. I love staring at them and watching them and thinking deeply about the interests they have, and where I see when we're playing games together, where I see certain ones have extra really good skills, whether it's their communication skills for my 14-year-old. um, it's his problem solving. He has this brain. It's kind of a, and I don't, he's was good at math, but he wasn't like a genius at math. But when it doesn't matter what kind of game it is, whenever there's like a skill game, he like unlocks that game like it's a puzzle to him, and he like think like how you he's always been really good at the Rubik's cube, and um, all the different steps you see ahead. And I don't know if it's from all his gaming, all the gaming he does. He's actually really good at gaming too. He's got like a really high ranking in Call of Duty, and he's in the top, I think top 5% or something. I don't know. My other son said he won't be impressed until he's in the top 3%. But he's got an incredible mind, and I don't know why I'm talking about my children. I don't want to ever be the type of person that brags about my children. But as a mother, that is like one of my favorite things to do, is to just study my children and to see where they're genius, and like feed that, just like feed it, like tell them, point it out to them, and go, you should do that. You should do that. Like it's, and you see them blossom because you, as their mother, know better than anyone else what their genius is, and you know how to feed it. And my mom did that for me. She saw that I was super talented artistically, and so she put me in all kinds of art classes. I tried to like talk to people that so that I could have experiences where I was painting and drawing, and she bought me art supplies every birthday, and she did everything in her power to try to like feed where she saw that I had abilities, and help me to grow into those things. Anyways, I'm totally trying to remember what this had to do with anything, and I think it was me talking about how I don't want people to think I'm a mean person. I feel like I've been a mean person. I'm so passionate. I'm so passionate, and I've been biting with my words on Facebook. I've had some quite entertaining debates. Sorry, I know they're entertaining because I get random, really random people, um, really random people ask me, message me like, hey, where's that? How can I find that debate that you had? Blah, 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 blah. Like, do you mind if I copy and paste it? Do you mind if I share it? And I've had friends tell me that they're very entertained by the by the arguments I would have with people on Facebook. And it's not hard. It's not hard to argue with the left. It's not hard, but I've put up I'm sick of people being politically correct. That's the problem. I see people are so polite and they try to put their argument across on Facebook, and God bless them, because they're trying to be like the nice person that I hope that people think I am, and they're arguing with these lefties, but they're like, you never really stick them where you should and when you should, because you gotta, they're so delusional and they're so misinformed because of the fake news, that you have to come from a point of confidence when you're talking about the wacky things that hi Four Corners, hi Ricky, the wacky things that the left believe. Yeah, so I liked debating. It was fun. It was good for me, and it was good, and I did it, and I learned this. I used to love Ben Shapiro, but I've moved on. Ben Shapiro was when he wasn't a huge fan of Trump. I was done with him because he couldn't see the genius and the brilliance of Trump. So I was like, I'm done with you, Ben Shapiro. But I've learned a lot of things about debating from him, and one of the things he says is when you have the chance, when you get into a situation where you have an audience and you're going to be debating someone, you better own them. You better own them publicly. And that always stuck in my head, and I feel that way though. I feel that way about the truth. I feel like the truth is so radical. They've turned truth into something that's radical. Like we shouldn't dabble in the radical. That's a radical thing to believe. The truth is now a radical thing to believe, and we have to stop that. I always think of when autistic children, they're hypersensitive to everything. So one of the things that they do to autistic children is like take different materials and rub them on the child's skin over and over and over to get rid of that hypersensitivity to them, for being so that they can function more normally. And I feel like that's what we need to do with the left. Like that's why I'm so bold, is because they've been so coddled, and all the crazy wacky things that they believe have been so coddled, that like just kind of chipping away at that is like it's not working. And just like with the autistic children, where you just have to you just got to throw it at them so they can feel it, and then they can accept it, because they have to feel it. You have to be bold. You have to make them think, and they have to feel the pain. There's pain with the truth. There's pain with the truth. There's so many lies, and anyway, I'm really disappointed with how many people are easily deceived. Let me see who's in here. We would lock PC lefties in a room and force them to listen to Andrew Dice Clay. That's kind of funny. So I don't know why I was on that rant. I guess it's just really weird for me to think of how I put myself out there so much publicly. I'm like completely exposed. Like my political beliefs are out there for everyone to criticize, and not just my political beliefs, my conspiratorial beliefs, my faith, my testimony. Like it's all out there for everyone to see and to scrutinize and to judge and I feel naked a lot of times because I've just put myself out there, but I don't know if it's the artist in me, but I love it. I love how free I feel being able to just speak my mind, because I see so many people censor themselves. We're so censored and we don't even realize it. This whole journey has been an exercise for me to see how much I've censored myself even. And I don't think people really think deeply about how much they don't actually say what they think. They don't actually mean what they say, and they censor themselves. Hello, SMF Veritas. I just want us to stop censoring ourselves. I just want us to speak more openly, more freely, and that's the only way. That's the only way that the conservatives have been so polite and so accommodating, and they've used our Christian values of love and tolerance against us to further their demented ideas about social injustice and racial injustice and the poor and the feminist movement. It's disgusting.
Kindness.
It's full of lies. What?
Kindness.
Yes, they want to. That's my theme. That's my theme. Is they put kindness above truth instead of truth above kindness, and it's so clear to me. It's so clear to me. And I think, and it's not just, it's clear to me because of my education with Q. I look at the last 3 years. Actually, I'll go to back 4 years. 4 years of my life have been a crash course on the truth about the world we live in, and it has been eye-opening every step of the way. Anyway, I just want people to know that I come from a place of love when I'm mean and I'm harsh. I have like certain trolls that have come back to me over and over and over again, and I often wonder, is it going to be awkward if I run into this person in real life? Because we've had these debates online, and we've been so like, you think I'm an idiot and I think you're an idiot kind of conversations. But I mean, I don't ever name call. I'm way above that. Like, I don't need to name call. I don't need to call her an idiot. I just point out. I say, you think this and this and this and this and this, and then she just looks like an idiot because yes, she does believe all those things. It's easy to make people look stupid, but without actually saying that they're stupid, when you just examine what they were arguing and how little they actually know about how the world actually operates. Anyway, sorry, let's see. I say what I think. If I hurt your feelings because of what I say, then you need to go to the dentist. I know, and we really should, by saying what we mean and meaning what we say, it changes our thoughts. Because then all of a sudden, if we're going to be real and actually say what we mean and mean what we say, then we better not be that mean of a person. You better like have a lot more love in your heart so that you can actually be real when you talk to people and tell them that you like them or love them or express, like, I just could never be fake. I can never be fake about my feelings for anyone. Like, I just can't do it. I can't fake it. And you know what? I don't know if any of you guys are fans of Bombard's Body Language lady. I don't know if you remember, when you were following her when she was on YouTube before they banned her. But man, I learned so much from that woman. I loved her videos. She was one of my favorite things I ever discovered on, hey, Tim, justice is balanced by mercy. Yes. It's very true. And that's what the Christian message is, isn't it? Isn't it? You cannot live in the presence of God if you're unclean, right? Like, that's the reason why Jesus Christ is our mediator. He acts as almost like an attorney to us, as we stand before God. He becomes the person to say,
Moderator.
what?
Moderator.
The moderator. Yeah. He argues on behalf of you. He says, have mercy on Heidi Vea. She did this and experienced this in her life, and you need to have mercy on her for her sins, and I will die for them. And I'm the only perfect human being that has ever lived on this planet, and that's the only reason why my sacrifice is worthy of being able to die for all of us so that we could dwell in the presence of God as unclean, sinful human beings. Why was I talking about that? Oh, because you said justice and mercy. That's why. Yes. So I don't even know her name, but the Bombard's body language lady, I feel like that was just a college course on its own. She taught me how much your thoughts are manifested in your physical reactions. Whether you're sweating or nervous or petting your hands because you're like all the things, and she points out all these things, how your body sings and how your eye contact means this, and the hand movements. It makes me more conscious of my body language. But what a fascinating thing to study, the body language. Like you really, it's a very useful tool to read people's body language. It really, there's so much truth to be discovered in people's body language. So what's going on? So Tim, I came on here because I said I was too angry in my last video. I didn't like how angry I came across, and because that's not me, that's not my nature. I'm not a mean person. I've just turned into a I don't know, people in this movement, I think for the most part, we're all full of passion. It hurts our heart. It hurts our heart to see the lies and the deception and people throwing away their freedom and adopting tyranny. And it just like, it hurts. And we are the type of people that cannot sit idly by while this happens, because we love these people. We love life. We love our life. We don't want to see it just thrown away. And so we got to say something, and sometimes that something sounds mean, and it comes with a sharp tongue. But people need to be scolded. I mean, we're all sinful. I'm not above anyone else, but when you're spewing a lie, when you're spewing an untruth twisted with truths, because that's what they do, they twist everything and they play on your emotions. And I see it. It's the work of Satan, and I see it. Do you think people are gonna? I mean, there are the satanic people that people do gravitate towards literal evil, but the real evil is the wolves in sheep's clothing. That's the real evil. That's who Satan wants more than anyone. He's already got all those other Hollywood people. He wants the good people. He wants those that are seeking after good things. He wants to get those guys. And so he manipulates the Western idea of Christianity, of love and tolerance and long suffering, and charity and all these things. He knows that that's how the Western mind thinks. And he knows that nobody wants to be called a racist. Nobody, I mean, we're just, other cultures, they're very, you say whatever you want in other cultures. It's funny when you go to another country and how people talk compared to how much, like I was saying before, how much we censor ourselves in the United States. And probably not just the United States, in Western culture. I think the British, they look at us like we don't censor ourselves. I think the British, I know they do. I know they think that we're loud and obnoxious because they censor themselves even more. I would hate to have grown up in that culture where you have to censor yourself so much. That's why people like Tommy Robinson and Katie Hopkins are so fantastic, because that's a voice from Great Britain that you just don't hear because they censor themselves so much. Yes, and it's never really tricks of the mind. Yeah, it's the most evil. It's the most evil. Like the good people that are deceived by the twisted. But then I also think, hey, you're responsible for your brain, like how you think. Like, are you thinking logically, or are you trying to, do you want to believe these things somehow because it makes you feel better about how you want to live your life? I don't know. I don't know what goes on in people's heads, like when they accept um, when they accept the things that they accept as normal, like no borders, like how, where's the logic in that? Or just when they choose to vote for higher taxes, I just don't, I don't get it. I don't get, or defunding the police, or full-term abortion, viable babies and babies after they're born being aborted. How do you, where do you, how does that work in your brain? How do you get there? That, like, that, it's such manipulation, such tricks of the devil, such manipulation going on. And it's all, and it's a woman thing because they play on the emotions. And that's why there's a division between men and women right now. Because men, so many men are cucked out. They have to, like, go along with their woke wife that's a feminist and not ever argue anything, any stupid thing that she throws out. Like, so many men are not doing their best to teach their ladies how to think. Like, you need to insert some logic into your women. They need to start thinking more logically. And but the society is telling them that emotions are all that matters. All that matters is how someone makes you feel. It's all that matters. The truth, the actual data, and asking questions, because nobody asks questions. Nobody asks questions about things. Anyway, I've been, there's a lot of jerks. There's a lot of jerks on the internet. There just are. There's a lot of jerks about people going after, I started out, I don't know how much I said before my stream got cut off, but I was frustrated because there are a lot of really mean things being said about Q. Not just like, I mean, there's people that are like, I guess the plan wasn't a plan after all, or I guess we were deceived. There's those people saying those things, and then there's people saying, those QAnoners, they're the reason Trump got kicked off Twitter. We need to get rid of the QAnon. Like there's people, and I was saying before that this is clearly what their plan is. The plan is to target Q. They have to discredit Q. There's nothing that's more threatening to their livelihoods than QAnon. So that is what the false flag is going to be pinned on Q 100%. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. I really would. But these fake, stupid false flags that they're going to do are definitely, they're going to use Q posts. They're going to say Trump speaking in code. They're already seeding the minds. They're already telling people that that's what they're going to do. Like, I think it was Andrew McCabe that said that. I think he said Trump's speaking to them in code. Because that's seeding the minds, because we do say that in the Q movement, that Trump speaks in code to us. Yes, he does. There's lots of things that are going on, and it's so that appears to be the plan in my book. That's what I see happening. But there's a lot of angry people, and I need to not care what they think, because God wins, and what we're saying, the truth, it all wins. And because it wins, everybody wins. That's the best thing about believing me. It means everybody wins. But if we believe you, Joe Biden and the deep state win. So which one do you want to believe, people?
It's not a popularity contest.
I know. Yes, I like that. Making a stance against the fear. Exactly. In fact, today, I'll tell you a little story. I've spoken out loud many times. Satan is afraid of me because Hey, Tim, I gotta tell you, I watched your videos last night. I went through all of them, and I love what you're doing. I think it's awesome. I think your voice is sweet, and you come from a place of humility, and you were talking about wonderful things and teaching people how to see the hand of God in their own life. And that's really cool. So good job. Keep doing what you're doing. So there's I go to the neighborhood Walmart. They have a neighborhood Walmart with like groceries and stuff. And there's this fellow there named David that works in the produce section. And the first time I ever talked to David, it was right like towards the beginning of COVID, when we first started having to wear masks. I think it was that long ago. I could be wrong. It might have been in the summer. Anyway, I walk into the Walmart and I see this guy that works there and without a mask. I'm the only one. And I see the guy, the kid, he's young, the young guy. And he's got his he works there. He's clearly got a Walmart uniform on, and he was wearing his mask on his chin. And I was like, dude, that's rad. That guy's like, I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna wear the mask, even though everyone else in the store is wearing the mask. His supervisors are probably yelling at him all the time to tell him to pull it up. But he was just, I don't know. I thought that was cool, and I was the only one there without a mask. So I went up to him, and I saw his name, and I was like, hey, David. And he was like, and I'm like, hey, I think that's really cool that you're not wearing your mask. And he's like, I hate it. I hate the mask. And I go, I know. And it's all BS anyway. And the masks are BS. They don't work, blah, blah, blah. And we started talking. And anyway, every time I go there, I would probably, I don't know, like once a week, I would see him in the produce section. And I'd say hi to him. And the last time I saw him, I was like, oh, don't worry. Well, I kind of got that. We didn't talk a ton because he's working. So it was like really quick, brief conversations. So I never really got that he was a Trump supporter until one of the times he said, I'm scared because he thought Joe Biden was winning. And he was like, I'm really scared for our country. And I was like, oh, cool. You're obviously a Trump supporter. So, but the last time I saw him was right before January 6th. And I was like, don't worry, everything's going to change on January 6th. Like, stuff's going to happen. And then it didn't happen the way we thought it was going to happen. I mean, stuff definitely happened. but Trump wasn't, the election wasn't overturned like I kind of led him to believe. And so I felt bad. I was like, oh, crap, I'm going to see him again. He's going to be like, what's happened? So, but it was cool. I saw him. And he beeline towards me. And I was like, oh, he's coming up to me. Cool. And he goes, hey, I feel like you're the only person I can talk to. That was how he started the conversation. And that made me so happy. Because he was watching what was going on. And I think it was ringing a bell in his head from all the stuff that I've been kind of like trying to teach him in like the 2-minute conversations we'd have every time I'd go to Walmart and see him. He goes, what is going on in our world right now? And I go, again, like in 3 minutes, I'm like trying to sum it all up. And I'm like, there's 30,000 troops in DC. And they're not there to protect Joe Biden. They're there to make arrests. This is what I believe. I believe it's like a trap. I'm like, Trump is definitely going to be our president. You don't need to worry. And I said, if you talk to anyone that's scared, if things, get shut down, communications or whatever, don't be afraid. Because my parents are really scared. And I'm like, please tell them, don't be afraid. It's okay. Everything's going to be good. I'm like, we're restoring the Constitution back to what it was, originally meant to be before 1871 when they turned the United States into a corporation. I'm like speaking as fast as I can. And there's people like walking by because I'm the only one without a mask. So that's the first way I get attention, because I happen to be the only one. And then I'm talking to an employee and they're walking by me, hearing me say like crazy stuff. So people were walking all slow. I totally thought they were trying to listen, but it was fun. It was rad. And I told David how to find me on YouTube. So I hope you're watching. I hope you see this, David. I know you're confused because I have like literally minutes to try to teach you what I believe, the Pew plan, basically, what's going on. But you'll learn it really soon enough. I'm gonna look at my messages. Sorry, you know what? I could do this on here. So there's all these new platforms that people are going on to because we're all leaving Twitter and Facebook, and soon I'm assuming I'll be gone off of YouTube. I'm really liking Telegram. I actually really like Telegram. It's really easy to use. I like the interface. I like the way it looks. It's clean. It's easy to load things. You can create private chats. You can create huge group chats. You can make it so people can share. I think you can actually talk to people. You can send videos really easily. So I like Telegram for that. I don't know where I'll move for videos. I don't know. I'm assuming one of the platforms will kind of end up being Brian says BitChute is the way to go. Yeah, because I don't know about Rumble, because I saw people saying that Rumble was censoring people. And then I don't know how to use DLive. I'm very confused by it. I just downloaded it and I was like, I can't figure this out. So I don't know. I don't know what platforms are going, which one. I guess we'll look into BitChute. And then, yeah, because we still need, even though we can have websites and stuff, I think what we need is some place, there still needs to be like a gathering place where you can find individuals' websites. I don't know. I don't know how the internet's going to change, but the internet is going to change for sure with big tech being having their feet held to the fire finally. Big tech's I believe Trump is going to change stuff. He's already said Section 230, right? Like once they do that, things are going to get a lot better, a lot faster. I'm going to read some of your comments. You say feel free. My son was about to put a mask on to go into Circle K, and I looked him straight in the eye, and I told him, don't you dare put that mask on in front of me. You don't need it. I love it. My friend Melissa told me that she mask shamed her teenage daughter, too. She was so, who else? My cousin Megan told me she mask shamed her 20-year-old son. She yelled at him. She's like, you are not my son. You're wearing a mask. You are not my son. And that just warms my heart. Because my children know to not wear the mask. I mean, they don't want to fight like a manager at a store. They're kids. So they just don't go into stores. But I know that my son, Am, and my 14-year-old did go into a thrift store without a mask. And they asked him, to put a mask on. And he knew what to say. He said, I have a health condition. And I was really proud of my 14-year-old son to do that. Like, totally did that on his own. And he was happy to tell me. And I was happy for him to report that. He did that and stood up for himself. And for his rights as a human being to put a freaking mask on his face. So, props to you, SMF Veritas. I love it. He's been in Phoenix for months, and my daughters make him wear it because they don't want to cause problems. There's no problems when you go into stores without a mask. In Phoenix, when we go, yeah, I don't exist to cause problems either. I just know where I can go that's safe, because I really don't want to wear the mask. It kills me. It kills me to have to put a mask on. It really does. It makes me angry, and I did it the other day to order some food. And I was like, you know what? This is just someone's, restaurant. I'm just going to order food with the mask on, and I'll pull it off. And the whole time I was like pulling on it. I was like, I hate this so much because the heat, I'm not used to it and never wear it. And it just, Mentally and physically, it was bugging me just to have it on for 5 minutes while I said my order. And I was like, okay, as soon as I get my order, I'm pulling it down. Because what are they gonna do? I'm just sitting there waiting for my order. What are they gonna do? Yell at me? I just got a water cup and I went over to the fountain drinks, and I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here and drink water without my mask because I don't want to put that stupid thing back on my face. And so I was sitting there drinking my water, and this guy, this big burly red bearded guy, he's got his mask on, and he goes up to the fountain drinks, and he's getting his drinks, and he sees me out of the corner of his eye, like with no mask, and he goes, and he immediately, see, as soon as he saw me, he immediately pulled this down, and he's like, I could tell he wanted to have a conversation because he said out loud, like, I don't like this thing. I hate the freaking mask. And I was like, dude, I do too. I go, don't worry. It's all BS. I go, it's all going to be over soon. And I started throwing stuff at him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he was tripping out on me. I'm like, don't worry. I go, we're gonna take this country back. The election was stolen. I'm saying this like literally, and as soon as I meet him, I'm just so excited about everything. I'm I'm making people stop and listen to me, but they want to listen to me, and I could tell that they're actually interested and can sense it too. Can sense that there's definitely something going on. There's a lot of people talking outside of even just like political circles about, oh, I kind of heard there's a rumor we should have like, 2 weeks of food and toilet paper and water. And I'm like, if anyone asks me, I'm like, yeah, you should. Like, why not? Doesn't hurt. I'm like, don't need to be afraid of anything, but yeah, have some food. Things might slow down. I don't know. It looks like things might happen. I know I spent most of my day yesterday, like glued to my phone, watching all of the updates come in from Washington D.C. All the more and more troops coming in, and the barricades and the helicopters being seen flown. Like Katie Hopkins was reporting from there, and there's another guy like saying, dude, if you I'm sure everyone's seen the clip. If you have to do this to convince the people that you legitimately won the election, you probably didn't win the election. That's everybody's line right now because everybody's tripping. Everybody's tripping. Anyone that's paying attention to what's happening in Washington, D.C., and not just what's happening in Washington, D.C., but all the world leaders that are stepping down, all the people that are dying, committing suicide. I mean, there's not a ton, but there's definitely numbers enough to make a person go, whoa, especially with the world leaders. The caravans are coming up again. It's getting crazy out there. Like, I haven't actually looked at what's happened in the last few hours. I feel like I probably missed I probably missed the latest news. 1871. Yep. There's Rumble. Yeah, I don't know about Rumble. I don't know. But I'm excited. I'm excited about having being on a platform where speech is free. Like where we can say whatever we want and not have to worry. Like that's super exciting to me, to that place, those places are going to become where it's at. It's going to be the place to be. Like Facebook already feels so lame. It's like so lame to me, Facebook. I don't know why I'm still there. I think I don't even want to post in there anymore. There's a lot of people there to learn, and there's a lot of people there that don't care to learn, and I think I'm totally shadow banned. I get zero. I can see the activity, it's just down to nothing. So I'm like, nobody even sees my stuff on there. Why do I want to be on this stupid platform anyway? Nobody's here anymore. Everybody's leaving. I'm getting out. That's it. Probably delete my account tonight. But I'm on Telegram. I think just my name, Heidi Bea, on Telegram. And I'm on CloutHub. CloutHub's pretty cool. Yeah, those are two new places that I am right now. And I like Telegram. I like it. I like it better than, I think I like it better than CloutHub. Who else is excited? Linda, what's up, Linda? I haven't seen you for a while. No, don't give up any platforms. Don't give up any platforms. I know it's too many. It's too many to manage. And I feel like I neglect. I could be really good on, if I focused on making live streams or videos or whatever, I just like focus. I just want to focus. I feel so like I don't know how to focus. And I want to somehow keep doing what we're doing and be able to like do it for money, to make money, like reporting the news and sharing our thoughts, and like that would be really a dream come true to be able to do that. So I want to be more serious about creating content and conversations and having interviews, and I just gotta figure it out. Like it's kind of really fun to me. I love editing. I feel like I love painting and drawing, and I just love everything where I get to create, and like video editing is like a whole new platform to me. It's like, but I was told by a friend of mine who's an editor in Hollywood that women sometimes are the best editors because they are patient. They have the patience to sit there and go, I want it to feel like this. I want this clip. I want this to happen. Like it takes patience to sit there and go through hours and hours of footage and just kind of create like a real storyline or a feel to something. But it's a medium. I'll call it a medium that I really like. And when I think back in high school, like if I go, what was my dream job? What was my dream job? And it was to be a documentary filmmaker. That's what appealed to me, is people that made documentaries, because of my love and interest in people. Like I like all people. People are fascinating to me. And so I just always pictured my dream job would be finding stories, really interesting stories, and following a person and their life and telling their story. Linda, your story is one of my stories that maybe you'll be one of my first real little mini docs. I want to tell your story. I want to interview you and share your story, because you have a crazy story. But it occurred to me the other day that I'm kind of almost doing the very thing that I dreamt about doing, like as a dream job when I was in high school. I'm documenting what's happening. The last 3 years I've been documenting it. I've been going to events and like documenting it and interviewing people and having the most interesting conversations. So I'm like, wow, I'm actually doing something that I really love. Like for the first time in my life, I'm having so much fun, and I just think, gosh, if I could figure out how to monetize this, that would be amazing. So I have to figure that out. And it might be designing shirts. It might be, I don't know. It might be through our website.
The news website.
We do have a website. So anyway, I'm just chatty tonight. Super chatty. No real news to report. Just having conversation. I'm crazy, laugh out loud. Veritas, same here, joining Rumble, Fleckas, OAN, and X22. So when you say you're joining, are you like subscribing, like you pay a subscription? Is that what you mean? And that's so cool. I love that people are supporting alternative media. That is what we need to do. That is the new world that we are entering, because forget this corporate crap. When you answer to corporations, like you're never going to be able to be real. You're never going to be able to be yourself. So by keeping keeping it small, right? Keeping it small, keeping it as individual individuals supporting individuals, then they're going to always be true to themselves and to their audience, and they're never going to have to worry about their sponsors. Having sponsors is the worst. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. My Pillow is a good sponsor to have. I don't mean that. Maybe it's that you can't have sponsors that have ideologies that are completely against yours and what you're and the information that you're sharing. And it's kind of like you have to know someone's beliefs before you agree to have them sponsor you. My other daughter called corporate for Ace Hardware and gave them an earful so they don't bug them about masks anymore. Oh, Brian, is that where you got harassed? Was it Ace Hardware?
AutoZone.
Huh?
AutoZone.
Oh, it was AutoZone. AutoZone gave Brian a real hard time about not wearing a mask. But I think I have heard that Ace Hardware is pretty lame too. Home Depot has been nice. I've had good experience. I've gone in there several times without a mask. So I like to put that out there. I like to tell, I know Walmart's evil. I get it. Walmart is evil, but it's literally like my backyard and it's really cheap. It's really hard to not shop there when you have children. But it's the devil. Walmart is the devil. I agree. But I have to say, and Target, also the devil, deep state companies. Neither one of those places make you wear a mask.
California.
What?
In California.
In California. I don't know how it is in other states, but in California, I can shop in those two places mask free.
They follow the governor's mandate.
Someone reporting some news for us. Have you seen this video? I don't know what video it is. My internet is not working properly. Is my maybe my dad, okay, my data is probably working good. Tim says, I keep seeing so many theories about what may happen. Some say they know, but we can't lose sight of Q and the plan. We must weigh everything we hear against 40,000 foot view. Yes, I agree, Tim, totally. I'd like to hear everybody's theories about what they think is going to happen. And I just file all those theories away because they're all theories. Nobody knows for sure except for the Q team, just less than 10. I mean, only they know the whole picture, really. When I think about how small of a group that is that knows the actual whole picture of what's going to happen, that's very small, and they've had to be very secretive. It's on to need to know basis. Like, there's probably so many levels within the whole operation, and they all just know parts of it. They just know little parts. They have to be so careful for information not to leak to the deep states. Like, that is number one priority is keeping the plans, under wraps, which is a curious part of the Q, because here we are trying to decode all the Q posts, and you think, well, isn't that bad because the deep state's going to see the decodes? And it occurred to me one time when I was thinking about this that, well, that's why disinformation is necessary. Maybe our decodes lead the deep state down the wrong path because anyway, I just thought that that could be part of the plan too, is us coming up with false information to feed to the deep state. It's just, that's a beautiful thing. The whole Q plan is a beautiful thing. I'm not nervous. I'm excited. I'm with you, Four Corners. Where are they, Brian? I don't know where they are. Okay, so I was going to share some stuff with you guys because I was like, I just want to have a sharing time, a fun little sharing time. First thing I'm going to share with you is, I told you guys, Michael Jackson's funeral. This is the what do you call it? whatever they hand out at funerals.
Program.
The program? That was the program. Wait, let me find the other part to it. I was telling on one of my other last live stream that after he died, there was a lottery, and you could enter the lottery through an email to get one of the seats. I don't know how many people attended, how big it was. I can't remember. But Brian Vea gets picked for a lot of things. He also got picked on The Price is Right. He's had a few interesting things where he won. So here's the ticket to the Michael Jackson funeral.
Tell me the way that picks his death.
Yeah, I know. We'll get there. And this was the wristband that they put on everyone. And then this is the program that was given to everyone. And these were, right after the funeral, these were selling for like $1,000, these programs. It's kind of crazy. We believe that Michael Jackson is a white hat and that he probably faked his death. That's, I like to believe that he faked his death. I'm like, I can't say that I know that for sure, but it's fun to believe that, and it's fun to look for clues that suggest that. I'm not one of those people that believes that he was a child molester. I honestly believe that was projection. That was projection by the people that owned Michael Jackson. Like, what's his face? What's his name? The producer? Geffen, yeah.
David
I think
Geffen.
those people
David
like
Geffen.
him are disgusting and do disgusting things to children.
They said it was David Geffen that was spreading the lies.
And I believe it was David Geffen that was spreading the lies about Michael Jackson being a pedophile. So I think that he was framed. I think they needed to project and try to paint this troubled man, clearly. I mean, what he did to his face. He was troubled. He was troubled because he was abused and because he knew about the Illuminati. Clearly, in his album covers, he knew a lot and he was expressing a lot. So, and then none of the child stars that had relationships with him had anything bad to say about him being abusive to them at all. Nobody, you could just see the man. He was just trapped he was like a child, and he just wanted to, he never got to have a childhood. He never got to have a childhood, and that's why he created Neverland, and it was to kind of like go back and try to experience childhood. Anyway, so I'm a fan of Michael Jackson. I'm a fan, despite all the crap that the media has said about him. I think he's a good man, and I hope that he's still alive. So this is what the program looks like. It's just mostly just lots of pictures. Anyway, I don't know if you want to see the whole thing, but it's a cool thing to have, and I don't. I think originally we were like, "Ooh, let's sell it and make some money," but I don't think I want to sell it now. I don't know if it would sell for. I don't know. If he's alive, it might be worth a lot. If he's really alive. I don't know. I can't see my chat. He's hanging with Elvis. Elvis might be alive too, Daniel.
Tell him, Pastor Bob Joyce.
Brian says, look up Pastor Bob Joyce.
Can't fake the voice.
A ticket to a funeral. Well, it was more of a memorial. I guess they called it a celebration. It was at a big stadium and everything.
Staples Center.
It was at the Staples Center. I'm sure they had like a private funeral with their family. But here's another fun one. Wait, no, I'm gonna show that later. Let's see. What else? Okay, I was going through some stuff and I found these and I thought, well, these are kind of fun. Pretty cool and interesting to look at. These are, I can't even remember where I got these from. Do you remember where I got these from? Maybe my grandma. No? Oh, Benny. Maybe it was from Benny. I don't remember. It was when all these newspapers from when JFK was assassinated. This is the LA, the Herald Examiner. November 23rd, 1963. What, Brian?
You see Bush 41 in the shadows?
Oh. Yes, you do. I don't know if it's on this one, but it's unfortunate that I'm using my phone because everything is reversed. That sucks. It's kind of lame. This was November 26th. So a nation buries its fallen president. Let's see. The last one. I'm looking for something. There's one, another one. A martyr's funeral. And it has all these. What is this? Wow. Oswald. It'd be really cool to read. Like, I guess there's probably people that collect this stuff. It would. I'd read it. There's a lot of things in there to read. There's Saturday morning after it happened.
You're slowing down, honey. That's slowing me down.
Right. Okay. These are cool too. I found these from World War II. These newspaper clippings. Aren't these crazy? The war, the map.
Weirdo. Nobody cares about your kids.
It's crazy.
Science.
All right. This is what I really want to show you is this JFK Jr. magazine. Those of us that have been following the theory that JFK Jr. is alive are all probably familiar with this magazine. It came out on 12/14/18, which when you add up the numbers, it adds up to that wonderful number 17, which is, our first little clue. And there's a couple little interesting things in here. Are you guys all familiar with the magazine? How many do I have any junior believers? I believe that Tim, I believe you are. Whiplash on Twitter is very insightful. I'm so thankful for the context, but now I have to find a new way. So in this magazine, there's a page that says, "Gone too soon." Anybody know what's wrong with that? It's a huge typo. It's a huge typo. It should look like this. Gone too soon with the T-O-O. Which going to with the T-O is going to somewhere. So those of us that have been following all this stuff got super excited about that typo because it suggested that we are going to see him soon. And then the other fun thing is the O. If you look and see the O, the collar happens to go through the O in the correct direction to look like a Q. So that's another little, and if you know, I know probably some people would think that we're crazy for seeing all these things, but if you've been playing the game for as long as we have, you see that this is, these things really do communicate this way. This is like there's levels of code and ways people communicate. That's definitely one of them. But the really interesting thing in this magazine is the page where he's showing himself. There's a picture of him presenting George magazine. It came out in 1996. And there's lots of pictures of him on the internet, what he looked like when he was presenting the magazine, his magazine. Well, the picture that they show in this magazine of him shows him as an older man with gray hair. That's not what he looked like in 1996. You can see, I don't know if it's focused or not. He has gray hair and he's older. He looked like this in 1996. That's what he looked like. That was around the same time. So, that right there, that was huge. That was really huge for me when I saw that. I was like, wow. He's definitely, how old would he be? Like 60? I can't remember how old he would be. But that looks like a 60-year-old man.
Talk to him about Rothschild that died today. Another fake death.
Yes, I don't know, the internet is not working on the computer for some reason.
Why do you need the internet?
Because I can't remember their name.
Ariana de Rothschild.
Not the person that died, though.
Everybody can look them up. Everybody's talking about it today.
Yeah, so everybody's talking about the Rothschild that died. Was it Nathaniel or something? Was it Nathaniel Rothschild that died? And his wife is, what's her name?
Ariana de Rothschild.
Ariana de Rothschild. And there's a big, giant theory about her actually being Princess.
She married a good Rothschild.
Brian's telling me stuff from... He wants to participate, but he doesn't feel good. So he's telling me that this Rothschild was good. He believed that Rothschild was good.
He's overturning the cabal, yes.
And that they were helping from his research. I can't speak for this because I haven't done the research that Brian has, but he's telling me that those Rothschilds were infiltrating the cabal and helping the White Hats basically overturn the cabal. I don't know if anybody's read about that or heard about that.
Dodi Fayed, they're White Hats also. They helped her escape. JFK Jr. met with Princess Diana before she died.
Yeah, so there's another theory. Okay, so I didn't even mention that. There was Princess Diana and JFK Jr. had a relationship. Everybody knows that. Let me see if I don't know if I have any pictures of them. But it was known that they had a dang it, I gotta be able to I gotta learn how to pull up the my files so I could show you all this really interesting stuff about Princess Diana and JFK Jr. and all the theories and how they cross paths, and the Q post that mentions JFK is really where it all started, because there is a Q post, only one, that mentions that JFK Jr. 1999 POTUS and JFK Jr. relationship, plane crash, the start. And that's the start of the show. And that's where I think everybody started going, wait, what? And so we started, I was like following what the few people were saying about it, and it was looking very interesting. There's so many things.
Princess Diana's post is post 100. It talks about her running from the Queen and what she knew, how the Queen was going to kill her, and all people that were involved. It's post 100.
Q post?
Q post 100.
Okay, Brian's saying go look at Q post 100. Maybe I'll try to get my internet to work here. Let me do this. Sorry. So, oh yeah, the internet is not working.
I just downloaded PDF. If you go to q.pdf. Well, that's too late. It's okay. Just tell me to read it.
Yeah. Okay, so he says in Q post 100, and it talks about Princess Diana hiding from the Queen, running from the Queen. How is it worded?
Here, I'll give it to you.
Okay, he's gonna look it up.
You can read it.
I have no idea why my internet is not working. We paid the bill. Why is it not working? That's very inconvenient for me. So Princess Diana and JFK Jr. were friends, and she died right before him. And that's just fun. That's just a fun thing to go. Just go have fun, even if you think it's crazy. Just have fun reading what people have come up with and put together as far as theories, and that Diana was never happy in with Prince Charles and with the family because she knew the truth about them, and I think she was. It wasn't like it was a force. Who is the queen of, this is QPost 100, who is the queen of England? How long in power? With power comes corruption. What happened to Diana? What did she find out? Why was she running? Who did she entrust to help her flee? What was the cover? Why is this relevant? Why now? Old? Connection. News. Bad actor. London mayor. Background. Affiliation. Connection to Queen. British MI6 agents dead. When? How? What was reported? What really happened? Why is this relevant? Wealth. Corruption. Secret society. Evil. Germany. Merkel. Migrants. Why are migrants important? Assets. What are assets? Define assets. Why are migrants important? Operations. Satan. Who follows? What political leaders worship Satan? What does an upside down cross represent? Who wears one openly? We know Chelsea Clinton wears one openly. There's been a few people that wear one openly. Why? Who is Melinda Gates was also pictured wearing an upside down cross. Yep. Who is she connected to? Why is this relevant? Spirit cooking. What does spirit cooking represent? Cult. What is a cult? Who is worshipped? Why is this relevant? Snow White. Godfather 3. Speed. Q. I can't remember what the Speed reference was. Can someone remind me? I can't remember.
Godspeed.
No, just, you don't think it was a movie reference to Speed? I can't remember. I feel like it was, but I can't remember what it was. Tim Alexander's teaching us about April Fools. He said, when they switched to the Gregorian calendar, many opposed the move, so they labeled them all foolish. This is where we get April Fool's Day. Awesome. So, back to, so we basically, the theory is that all a lot of these deaths by people like Junior and tragic, untimely deaths have been part of a plan that's been in the works for decades, really. Decades. Like, the theory, I'll just give you what I understand. Part of the theory is that she was part of the bloodlines, the Illuminati bloodlines. She actually was part of that family, those families, those evil families. And that there are more people like her, that there are multiple people in these bloodlines that have turned good.
Their kids were supposed to have all 13 bloodlines in them.
Yes, that's interesting. Apparently, by Charles and Diana having children together, that their children would have all 13 of the Illuminati bloodlines, and that's why they were paired together, so that they could have these children with all 13 Illuminati bloodlines. Fascinating reading about. It's really organized. That there is legit structure, hierarchies, and people that are over other people within these secret societies, which go into your sort of satanic cults, or they actually call them covens. Like there's witches covens. Hillary, it's not hard to find out through a little research from Hillary that she really is a witch. Like, she's a practicing witch. You could see in some of her emails from from WikiLeaks. She talks about sacrificing a chicken to Moloch in an email. There's a bunch of references, and I think that some witch coven. There's an article that talked about how she was part of it. There's just a lot of people with a lot of different backgrounds that can confirm that she's that she's a witch. She really is a practicing, I don't know if you call them Satanist, witch. I don't know the differences. But these things are real. These things are real. I was talking about Diana. That's why I was talking about that. Within the 120 special elections. Yeah, so there are a lot of people. We used to think that maybe Junior was going to be the vice president, but now it sounds like, if all goes as what the information that people are putting out there, I suggest that General Flynn will be the vice president. And one of the big voices out there is saying that if JFK Jr. is alive, he will play a significant role in the Trump administration. And he may even run for president in 2024. I certainly hope that's true. I don't know if it's wishful thinking, but I just have all kinds of strong feelings that JFK Jr. is alive. But it's been a lot of what we've seen. It's been a lot of the clues that we've seen, which I can't share with you right now. I don't know. It's interesting because one of my videos on my YouTube channel, my top video is the Adam Schiff incident, and then the next one down is my JFK Jr. Voice comparison. When I had heard theories that he was the voice from the Q Plan to Save the World, and that he was the voice of Todd Bergen, who was the one reporting that JFK Jr.'s plane went down, and that he was maybe one of these guys that was calling in on Field McConnell's show. And nobody had put all the voices together to really like kind of sit there and like listen and see if that's possible, if there's, some manipulation going on. But if there's the same rhythms and speech patterns and even lisps or pronunciations of words like January, which is how JFK Jr. says January. It's kind of like a January, and it's like I guess it's a Bostonian way to say it, I guess. But what was I talking about? Oh, I can always tell when people are looking up, when there's something that happens and people are looking up, researching Junior again. Every once in a while, every couple of weeks or every other couple of months, I'll get a lot of activity on my JFK Jr. comparison. I'll get a lot of views, and I'll go, oh, people are researching Junior, more and more people, and you see how many people are starting to like be curious. And like, I don't know, for me, the voice on the Q Plan to Save the World video, like that was really kind of crazy, because it really did sound like him. It really does sound like him. And the whole, like, it just came out of nowhere. Joe M just came out of nowhere, and he made this like really powerful video that told the story perfectly, like someone that's on the inside would be able to tell it. And so it really seemed plausible at that point to me that could be his voice, and that he could be, a white hat working behind the scenes. Like if you read, so just because of this theory, I've like read more about JFK Jr. than I ever wanted to, and I know way too much about his love life and all the ladies he's dated. But one of the biggest themes that you'll always see with when you're researching Junior is this thing. Let me show you. It's in every documentary. Anytime you read anything about him, this always comes up. Where is it now? I'm taking too long. It says he knew too much. That's what it says. It says he knew too much, which is very... Okay, well, here's one of them, which is very interesting. If he is part of the Q Plan and he's part of the team, which that was definitely one of my theories, is that he's on the Q team. The headlines like this are very interesting. It says the hunt for the truth. He was obsessed. It says right here, Jackie told him how his father was murdered. He was obsessed with finding his father's killers. And he was warned by several people. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of this magazine about this very topic, about how he became obsessed. Oh, here we go. John knew too much. He knew too much. What does that mean? What do you think it means?
Star Magazine. Put his name on the cover.
He knew that George H.W. Bush killed his father, which is why he named his magazine George Magazine. What was his magazine about? His magazine was about political, little unknown things or interesting little tidbits. And when you listen to him talk about what his magazine was, it is really about uncovering truths about how the government is actually run, and the truth about people and their scandals. He liked to focus on the little nuances, the little things that people might not know because they would never report it on the news. So his magazine was about things that you would never hear on the news because you just might start asking questions or making connections. And that's another fascinating thing about the whole theory about Junior is the content of his magazines, the name of his magazine. I was talking about the other night that I think it's fascinating that this George News YouTube channel pops up out of nowhere, and they're funded privately. So there's no names, no other entities connected to George. It's just by itself. You can't find any names of anyone. Like, I looked. If you can find, please, if someone can find more information about this George website, George News, which is JFK Jr.'s, company, like, there's no names connected to it at all. It's privately funded, and they have, like, full access to the, like, behind the scenes military stuff. George broadcasts live from the press room. George has access to, like the footage that they show on their YouTube channel is all, like, behind the scenes, like, military stuff. And they were on the Mercy and the Comfort. George News was on the Mercy and the Comfort. Nobody else was allowed on the Mercy and the Comfort. I didn't see any other outlet reporting what was happening on the Mercy and the Comfort except for George. So I don't know why more people aren't talking about that or more curious about it, because I find it extremely curious, and I find it very much a part of this whole theory. It's part of it. It's like I'm saying, I'm just giving you a little bit. Like, there's so much to this, and it's fascinating. Yeah. He was what was his friend's name that was killed, that's mentioned in the Q post? And he was killed like the next day after, or like the next week. What's his name? There was a guy. What was it? Solomon? No. What was his name? Anyway, he was a good friend of Junior's, and I think he took him in as almost, I think he spent his summers with this man, and this man he knew everything about, he knew all kinds of stuff about the truth, about the government and the secret societies and all that stuff. And I believe that he was his mentor and was teaching him and telling him everything about what was going on, he was mentioned in the Q post, and then he was killed like the next week. They found his body. What was his name? Very, very interesting. But yeah, I think he was very close to that man. That was what I gathered from watching all the stuff about Junior. Anyway, I love one of his most famous quotes is, People often tell me I could be a great man. I'd rather be a good man. And I love that, because I really believe that about him. I really believe that he's definitely the kind of person that we would want as a leader, because he doesn't want the fame. He doesn't want the glory. He wants to be good. He wants to do the right thing. That's what I sense from everything I've read about him. And let's see. There's a great weight of expectation and anticipation being in my family. Part of you wants to address that in some way and maybe do something different, but also just to engage it. If I were elected president, I guess the first thing I do is call up Uncle Teddy and gloat. So yeah, I don't think he ever wanted to be the president, but I think that, I don't know, I think he always he wants the truth. He wants the truth to get out. And Trump and him were friends. They were friends. They were good friends. Trump has to step down during the transition, and military will lead us until the special elections. So you are with that theory, Tim, because I've heard that too, that there will be an intermittent time when the military will actually... How many days? 120? 120? You heard that? I haven't heard that. I don't know. Tim, how many days is it? What? Can you give me more on that? Like what? How many days are they saying that has to be the case? Is it like just a few days? Is it like an extended period of time? I don't know. There's so much going on. I don't know if I've missed anything in the last 7, 8 hours. I don't know. I feel like I'm behind because everything's happening by the minute. How many troops do we have in DC now? Is it past 30,000? Oh wait, he did say 120. 120 days after the announcement is made public. Okay.
New elections.
So are there going to be new elections then? Do we have a new election? What do you guys think? I don't know. There's definitely, it's definitely happening. Yes, a new election. There's no other reason there's no reason, and everybody knows there's no reason for that much military, well, the National Guard, technically not the military, but they are armed. And there are Marines there, from what I understand. And like the entire place is shut down. No traffic, no buses, no trains, no public transportation. It's like, it's crazy, like nothing we've ever seen. And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for the threat level that they are suggesting there is. Like, they really think that Trump supporters are gonna...
It's gonna be the greatest perp walk ever.
Attack Biden? Like they're... It's a ridiculous amount of security to have for a bunch of crazy Trump supporters that don't exist. And everybody knows that those crazy Trump supporters don't exist. It's not a thing. The Capitol riots that are planned are not a thing. That's like not a thing at all for patriots. It's so stupid and laughable to me that the left is even trying to pull this off, because they look like clowns. They look like the clowns that they are. Like, it's like your little false flag is a little too fake there, a little too unbelievable. It doesn't, I don't know. It's starting to unravel. The stuff about the left, Antifa, BLM being involved in the Capitol riots is all coming out. The truth about COVID, like, just keeps leaking out more and more. Like, their narrative, the election stuff, everyone I talk to, whether they're political or not, thinks that the election was stolen. Like, it's like, and that's partly why people are so scared. Like this David guy that I was talking to at Walmart, he was like, it feels like I'm in a movie. It's like, I feel like I'm in a movie and I feel like it's the end of the world. And he's like, they legit stole the election. And I was like, I know, I agree. It's that crazy. It is that crazy. I go, it's biblical. And he goes, exactly, it is biblical. And I go, yeah, it's that crazy. And that's why I struggle to understand. They have flag envy. I struggle to understand people that actually believe that Joe Biden legitimately won the election. Please stand up. Please stand up. If you legitimately believe that Joe Biden won the election, I'd love to hear your rationale for how you can believe that. It's so laughable. The military will run the elections to make sure it is legal. This is what I'm hearing from those I had contact with on Twitter. But now I have to find a new way this needs to be done for NESARA. The military will run the elections to make sure it is legal. I wonder what military-run elections look like. 30,000 troops in D.C. They are taking over the country after 1/20/21. Oh. So what does that look like? What does the military taking over the government look like? I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll find out exactly what that looks like. But we know they're going to take over the airwaves. That's like definitely something we should expect. All this stuff needs to be explained to everyone because people are not going to understand. So the way that I think most of us that since the beginning, those of us that have been around at the beginning, we all understood that. I can't remember which Q post was it that got us all thinking. Oh, it was probably the one that said there will be an emergency broadcast and all that stuff. Maybe there were some other things that were said that made us all come to the conclusion that there would have to be taped confessions and actually people like, testimonies and telling stories, like hours and hours of video. I think we're going to watch hours and hours of video of this whole thing being explained. Everyone needs to be taught what's happening so they understand. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
I want to freaking... Oh.
I'm just covering the camera so Brian can walk by. He doesn't want to be on camera. Okay. What was I talking about? Interrupts me. General Flynn is who I hear will be in charge. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess that would make sense. So yeah, so I'm assuming that's what it's going to be. It's going to be they're going to have to. That's why there was a letter put out that said you have to broadcast the emergency alert, and the emergency alert is going to include the truth about what's happening. And they're going to lose their license. They're going to get shut off if they don't broadcast this message. I think there's just going to be one thing that everyone can watch, and it's going to be hours. It's going to be, we kind of experienced, I don't know if you guys remember, at least it was for me, I'm sure it was for everyone, when 9/11 happened. We were just like glued to the TV. We were watching, you just wanted to watch it live. You wanted to watch everything. You wanted to, constantly, there was like more and more footage coming out, and it was like crazy. And we spent hours and hours, probably like 2 weeks of just like being consumed by that. And remember, there was no air traffic. That was weird. There was no airplanes in the sky. Everybody was waving flags. There was like a weird, like, there was a there was a reverence in the land. There was unity. And so we've seen it before. We've seen that could happen. So I hope and I imagine that that's the plan is for them to, for that sense and that feeling of patriotism and unity will eventually, as the truth comes out, as people learn the truth. And I think that JFK Jr. could play a role in helping heal the country. And I think everyone knows that he could do that because he's not a Republican. I mean, his father was a Democrat. Like, he's just, I don't think people have like feelings for him either way, any way politically. So he would be a great tool to speak to the people and to help heal our nation after what we're about to go through. What's going on, guys? I'm talking too much. Anything crazy in the last couple hours? Anything going on that I need to know about, that I need to look up and research? I haven't looked for a while, but yeah, every day is a new day, and there's new clues to find and to follow, and I'm going to be nice to all the non-believers. I'm not going to shun the non-believers. I'm going to be nice. I have to understand that there's a lot of people that can't wrap their head around any of this stuff. It's like, it's too much and it's unbelievable. My own sisters, they always say, well, we hope you're right, Heidi, but I don't think so. Which is fine. Like, that's fine. It's we'll soon enough know. And I look forward to being I don't want to be wrong. I don't think any of us want it to not be true. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm not afraid. I think it's going to be fantastic. And I look forward to communicating with you guys through all this. I'm going to keep going live and, hopefully having lots of things to talk about and lots of things to report and hearing more from you guys. I think I'm going to end the stream. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble and talk about all these crazy things that I believe. I don't know how many people I have that are actually on board or could follow any of that stuff that I was talking about, but nevertheless, I'm sure I'm entertaining to people that think I'm crazy. I'm sure I have people on here that think I'm crazy, and I'm entertainment for you. Have a good night, guys, and find me on Telegram and on CloutHub. I'm trying to be active on there because I'm gonna say goodbye to. I'm gonna kiss Facebook goodbye, Fakebook goodbye. YouTube's gonna eventually ditch out on me, so I gotta find a new platform for that, for videos. And I appreciate you guys all for being here and listening to me, and hopefully you learned something or were entertained. And we'll do this again sooner than later. Good night, guys.